This is the Franklin Township Public Library Board of Trustees meeting. This is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. This is a virtual Zoom meeting. I will call the roll. Agnes Kulabanya is here. Nicholas Champa, I'm here. Bill Clary, NBC.
Here.
Iris Kislin. Here. Mayor Kramer. Kevin McNeil is absent, I believe.
Right, he went away.
Ed Ward.
Present.
And Tiana Gresham.
Not yet.
You're on mute, Tiana.
Here.
Okay.
She's here.
Purposes of the quorum, well, we do have a quorum, but for purposes of the quorum, Tiana or Philip is the member tonight. Who will it be?
Me, I guess.
It's always Tiana, and last night it's otherwise say something.
Okay. Also with us is January Adams, our director, and Robert Wardlaw handling the technical aspects of the virtual meeting. This meeting is held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law. The schedule and notification of this is provided to the Courier News, the Home News Tribune, and the Fact. Copies have been posted in the library's vestibule and are also available at the reference desk. There will be two sessions tonight where the public may speak. The first is for any topic, and the second, near the end of the meeting, is for anything discussed on or acted upon at this evening's meeting. Here are the rules. A person may speak one time at each of the sessions. Speakers will state their name and address. Time limit will be 3 minutes, starting after the statement of name and address. Meeting is now open for the first public session. Are there any members of the public who would like to participate at this time?
How are they going to signify that
We
they
have
want
two
to-
members of the public, Jason Bird, a library employee, and a representative from the Franklin Reporter.
Okay. Would any of those of you two like to make a statement at this time?
How are they going to? They're muted. Can they unmute?
They can unmute themselves.
Okay.
This is Jason Bird. I'm a library employee. Nothing to.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion to close the, I would close the part one of the public portion of the meeting. Next item is on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the meeting held June 23rd of this year. You've all gotten them in your packet. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes from the Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021 meeting.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I would like to call the roll. Agnes Kulabanya,
Yes.
Iris Kislin.
Here.
Okay, this is a yes for the yes or no for the approving of the minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Tiana Gresham,
Yes.
Nabil Query,
Yes.
and Nicholas Champa, that's me, yes. The minutes are approved unanimously. Okay. I think we can move on now to the director's reports. January, would you like to start with your financial report?
Yes. As you can see, we're starting out a new fiscal year. We are basically on target. The percent of the budget should be about 8.3%. All branches at 7%, branches 8%. And there's nothing that, I mean, you can see outside professional services is high. That's because we just got the auditor's bill for the last audit.
Okay. About the program report.
We continue to get patrons thanking the library for being open during the pandemic. The Adult Services Department had 21 adult programs attended by 437 people. The Services Department held 4 new programs on the kids page, 21 outdoor events, and 2 story times to go. And the Youth Services Department has been using the great outdoors quite a bit for their programs, and that's working out very well. Foot traffic in the library has continued to pick up slowly but steadily. People are now coming in and using the space for studying and other quiet activities. And all of the summer reading programs ended. Well, they will have ended by August 23rd, and I'll have the statistics for you at the next meeting. And our young adult librarian has been invited by the Journal, School Library Journal, to join the committee that selects the best young adult nonfiction books of 2021. So she was very excited about that, and so are we. And that's it.
Can I ask, is it a requirement to wear a mask to come into the library?
Yes.
Were any other questions for January about this, about her report, her program report?
I have just a comment. I'm impressed by the upcoming programs for our teens, and especially the teen game on Zoom. Also the one using Cahoots. So yeah. Kudos to you. And we can talk offline, because I would like to have your adult, young adult librarian basically attend one of our meetings virtually when we talk to our K-8 media specialists and our high school media specialists as well, to continue to develop that relationship between the school district and the township library.
Sounds good. She'll like it.
All right. Great. Thank you.
One more thing about the upcoming programs. These, I believe, are all virtual. Is that correct?
Yes, except the outdoor ones for the kids.
Okay, fine. And thank you. Moving on, I'm going to read my president's report because it has some information about the planning board meeting. President's report, August 25th, 2021. The Franklin Township Planning Board met virtually on August 18th and reviewed the library's site plan as required under New Jersey Land Use Act. Jeff Reynolds of the Reynolds Group, the library's engineering firm, presented plans and discussed site preparation, buffering, drainage, parking, and landscaping. Harold Maltz, professional engineer and traffic expert, presented a traffic study and discussed the methods that he used to produce it. 3 members of the public spoke and questioned the need for the building, the proposed buffering plantings, and the traffic report. A planning board member praised the landscaping plan and stated that keeping the existing older trees, as suggested by a member of the public, would be a great mistake. The planning board president and the planning board attorney described the limited role of the planning board in reviewing our plan. Suggestions by the planning board included the following: install infrastructure for future installation of a charging station for plug-in electric vehicles, add an additional bicycle rack, and enhancement of the buffering row of Norway spruce trees along the eastern border of the property. Members also expressed the desire for sidewalks on Eden Street, Clover Place, and a portion of Claremont Road, but stated that this should be part of a township-wide sidewalk plan, possibly financed by the sidewalk fund and not by the library. That's my report. That's my report for today.
Could I just add to that
Sure.
about the sidewalks? I was forwarded an email from the mayor. Representative of Ridewise had contacted him concerning the sidewalks and said they have some services they could offer in collaboration. I just wasn't sure what the library's role would be in that because these are off-site improvements. So I thought I would bring it up at the meeting and open it up to discussion.
Thank you. I understand that organization is a nonprofit and that they do studies, they say, for free. I don't know who funds them, but this might be something that the township should look into, because there are certainly sidewalks needed in the Lewis Street area, Shevchenko Avenue, Pershing Avenue, Martin Street, and Matilda Avenue. Those are all over near our new the community center where we will have a library branch. So, Mayor, can I ask you to have perhaps Bob Vornlacher look into this?
Well, what we've actually done is we've done a bit of a study with the school, and our first priority of sidewalks is going to be so that kids can walk to school. So we kind of already had a plan. I just thought I sent that to January because I thought they could give some insight as to whether sidewalks would work there. My general feeling on the sidewalks is the town built sidewalks, not libraries. And because there's complicated things, like sometimes you have to take down someone's trees. There's telephone poles, although probably not where we would put them. Sometimes you even have to buy land from people. I think it would be a nice gesture if the library were to commit X amount of dollars towards the project. That's up to the board. That's just a thought, but it would not be, as has been indicated, a library project. Maybe we can contribute to it, but we're not going to build a sidewalk.
Okay, thank you. Correspondence and communication. I think you've all seen in your packets the three dotted areas here. The Franklin residents have not given up. The New Brunswick Today article from back in June, how the Maryland law requires ebook sales to libraries, and the fact that print sales of books are going up. A little bit of a surprise. Everyone thinks that all the action is in electronic sales. That's not quite true. Okay.
I'd just like to add a little bit about the Maryland law article, because we've talked about this before, but I just want to refresh everybody's memory that this law would prohibit publishers from instituting embargo periods during which ebook and electronic audiobook licenses are available for sale to the public, but not to libraries. So kudos to Maryland for doing this, because this has been something that's been going on for a while, and it's really not fair to libraries. that they hold back what they have because we're a library.
So January, is Maryland one of the first states to adopt this law?
I
'Cause
think they might be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know publishers, they're not really crazy about it because it diminished their sales,
Mhm.
So I would like to see that. Hopefully that will, move, up the East Coast
Yes.
to, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. Yeah.
Well, throughout the whole country. Let's
Yeah.
stop at the East Coast.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. That was very interesting. Thank you.
Okay, is there any old business?
Yeah, I'd like to discuss what you've already referred to about the meeting with the planning board. Are we going to make any decisions on recommendations that they made?
My take from Jeff Reynolds is that he can enhance the row of Norway spruce on the eastern border. As far as readiness for electric vehicle charging stations, I spoke to Barry Wilbur, who is the township's electrical code enforcer, and he agreed. He agreed with me that the status of charging, the status of electric vehicles and their chargers is evolving all the time. So what I'm recommending, and I discussed with him, is a minimal readiness, which would involve burying a PVC conduit from inside the building near the electrical panel to the parking lot where a future charging station or two would be located. And we discussed briefly the size of the conduit, and what I did tell him is that we would check out with him the final disposition of that. As far as a bicycle rack, yes, we can provide him additional bicycle rack.
Can I speak to that? We can, but I just would like to point out that we have a bicycle rack here at the main library, and it's barely used. So I kind of suspect that having one bicycle rack at the South Branch will be enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and just kind of leave room for another one.
Yeah.
Should it be?
If it needs.
There was a recommendation about making the parking lot pervious surface, and Mr. Reynolds recommended not to do that. I tend to agree with Mr. Reynolds. It sounded like when that doesn't work, it gets expensive to fix it. So I wouldn't want that recommendation from the environmental committee to be taken. And then someone did once mention, went by very briefly, there's buffering at the north end. At the north end, there's an acre or two of wooded area. Do we really need that buffering?
Well, it would be nicer to look at than what's there now when you're sitting in the library or pulling into the parking lot.
It's a good point. And then the trees will grow, and should something else go there, we're already buffered from it. Okay. All right, very good.
I have a question in regards to the charging station. Mayor Kramer, what is Franklin's position? Do we plan to have free public charging stations? Is that in the works?
We have some stations in the municipal complex.
Yes,
Initially,
correct.
they were free for about 6 months. I'm guessing, don't hold me to it. It was free to kind of get the public there. Now we charge for them. The way you have to charge is bizarre. What we're trying to hit is that it covers our cost. I don't think we're going to be putting it, maybe, when new charging stations go in, maybe, and I'm just speaking for myself off the top of my head, maybe we'll make them free for a short time just to get the word out. But there were complaints from people as to why am I subsidizing people with,
Mhm.
and it wasn't much money.
Yeah.
But that was the question.
Okay, there is a larger question here. As we go into, right now, the number of electric cars on the road is small. Over the next 5 years, it's going to grow. And the question here is revenue for roads, both at the state level and at the federal level. This has to be addressed probably by Congress or by Pete Buttigieg, or because when we get up to, say, 30% electric, it's a large bit of lack of revenue, lack of road tax. So I think it's quite appropriate that right now we wait and see what happens over the next couple of years and then come up with whatever current chargers are being used at that time.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the infrastructure bill, but a lot of, like, if you see new Wawas go up, depending on the township, they have charging stations. ShopRite has charging stations. I live in
Walmart
Mount
too.
Laurel. Right, so if that's the plan of the township, either the township or even businesses, when they build facilities, have those charging stations available, because that's revenue, which they pay taxes on, taxes to the township.
Well, I'm talking about road taxes. When I
Yeah.
buy gasoline, I pay
Yeah.
tax to the state and tax to the federal government. And right now it's small, but 5 years from now, it'll be a big hunk of
Yeah.
revenue loss for both of those organizations. Okay. Is there any other old business? Is there any new business? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one item under old business, and that was a question for January, which I think she has answered to me privately. But the question was, when will the pilot program with the Somerset County Library System begin? And January, you answered that.
He said we're aiming for November 1st.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any new business? We do need a resolution to enable enable us to proceed with the advertising for the library project.
I don't understand. Advertising for the library project?
You need a motion to proceed with putting the library branch project out to bid. I'm sorry, I said
Oh, okay.
out to bid in early September. This is our schedule, and I'd like to entertain a motion to that effect.
Somebody.
I can't do it.
I will make the motion if nobody else will.
Maybe if you read it again.
I move
Mhm.
to empower January to proceed with putting the library branch project out to bid in early September.
No, Nick. No, Nick.
Okay.
I think what you want to say is a motion for the board to proceed putting the project out to bid in early September.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you, Iris. Any discussion?
Will that give us enough time for the break ground before the winter months, like December,
I'm
before
sure
it gets cold?
hoping. I'm sure hoping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that there's a long period after we put this out to bid for the various bidders to ask questions and ask for clarification.
Mhm.
So it is a tight schedule, but yes, that's the goal.
Okay. Let's do it.
I'll call the roll on this. Agnes,
Yes.
Iris,
Yes,
Ed Ward,
Yes.
Tiana,
Yes.
NBC,
Yes.
and Nick, that's me, yes. I see that this has passed unanimously.
So I have some new business. Mr. President.
no,
Yes, Mr. Philip?
I
Um,
can talk to him at the library.
So I alluded to this when I first got on. I got an angry call from a citizen indicating that they couldn't find the link to this. And so I went on the website and I couldn't find the link as a citizen to get on this. It does, you know, you go to the calendar, then you click on it. There's a pop-up and in there that says click here, but the click here isn't highlighted like a link. So it was very hard to find. You really had to just read the whole thing in order to figure it out. I would suggest that the links for all the things,
You're saying,
all the events,
Highlighted.
be right on the calendar. You just, you know, you have the event and there's for all the virtual meetings,
Highlight.
just have it right there, make it a lot easier.
good idea.
Thank you for that suggestion. Is there any other new business? We shall now open the second part of the public portion of the meeting. Is there any member of the public who would like to make a statement at this time?
Good evening. My name is Jason Bird. I am a library employee. I just wanted to point out with those calendars, the library is getting a new system starting in October. So the way our calendar is laid out will be changing and make it, we have seen it, it is much more easier for patrons to find the information, access information. So come about October, we should start seeing changes there. That was all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, at least for this meeting, which is an advertised meeting and that is open to the public. And is constitutionally required to allow the public in. I hope that link can be done for September's meeting.
I'll make sure that gets done.
Thank you.
Is there any other member of the public who would like to speak at this time? Seeing none, I will close the part two of the public portion of the meeting. And I will confirm that our next meeting date is September 22nd. At this point, I would like to suggest that we will be virtual for September's meeting. And now I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I do.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.